guys are live.
We're live already. Put together this 2016 Challenger that was totaled in an accident, bug style. It's been a long build, been 7 months to get this thing back on its feet. However, we did save the client's vehicle, and as opposed to doing exactly what the repair order called for, using used parts or lower quality parts to keep this car from being totaled, we actually reached into our pockets and bought everything from Mopar, all the way down to the factory harnesses, the factory retainers, every factory bolt, every factory clip, all the way down to the underside of the hood, having... Oh, let me open the hood and I'll show you.
I mean, you're not live, this is just the...
That's fine.
Do you have before pictures of this?
Oh yeah.
Video?
Yes. All the way down to the factory stickers have been replaced on the car for authenticity. Some of the detail that you'll also see here at Bubba's Exotic Motorsports, we don't just throw things together like a collision shop. If you'll notice, even every one of the fasteners points indexed to the same direction. Here, 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 just like every nut and every bolt.
There's something sticking here. Got it. Got it. It's on my foot.
You on the floor.
Make a 7mm ratchet wrench either.
No.
Of course not.
This one was pretty easy. Alright, so it's just your bolt and then my bolt.
Yeah. And then we gotta get that other lower skirt panel, and that goes in here and goes through all this, because that's
That
all
one can go on completely last.
okay, that's all the hardware. That's these 5 bolts right here. Okay. And that's the rest of the clips.
And I'm pretty sure we can just put that on the car.
Yeah.
Once it's on the lift. That one, and then we have one more lower skid pad.
Yeah.
Trying to fix this spot, but somehow it's been... Run a rag on it.
Take a chance, buddy. You know what's weak. It's less time to stop and do it right.
Got 30 minutes. You need an extra set of hands. Tom, what are we doing here today on this?
Right now we're doing the final wet sanding and buffing using the latest in technology. This is the new DA wet sanding application. It takes a third of the time to do it by hand, and then you just go right into your final polishing. We call this the cut and buff section. Gets rid of any orange peel or any imperfections in the paint itself, and it makes it very easy on the operator, or in this case Bub, because he's not having to hand sand the whole car. So that's what we're doing here. Next up, we'll do 2 different polishing compounds, and then that car will be ready to deliver today.
And what's the liquid you're spraying on there?
This is actually water. You just keep the 3,000 grit sandpaper lubricated lightly with water because it removes the imperfections. You can see the orbital sander does all the work for you.
And they put the front end on since yesterday.
Yes, all the front end's done, the grill's done, the alignment's been done. We found late this morning, we found that the control arm was broken on the right-hand side from the impact of the accident. Even though the car lined up right, we heard a squeaking in the suspension that we weren't happy with, so we took the time to put it back up so the client wouldn't have to come back with a return after being away from his car for this long, and we fixed the problem. We sent our driver down to the Mopar dealer to pick up the piece and get it handled and get it back in here so we can make our deliverable today.
Fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we haven't really checked that side of it yet. I am going to check. It's like a 7-digit VIN with some date stamps on it as well. That tell you exactly if this motor was from this car. But if we do know it is 67 to 69 small block Chevrolet, as you can see, and this thing was either one of 3 options. It was either a 302, it was either a 327, or a 350. That's what that casting number is on the back of the block. That is what it came from. And a lot of people wonder, like, how did they come up with a 383, right? So if you took a 383 and you go with a 3 3/4 inch stroke from the original 3.480, just under a ½ inch, then you've created a stroker motor going to a 30 over bore as well. So you have to complement not only the 30 over bore, but also with the longer stroke.
When you say 30 over bore, what does that mean to the average person?
That's 30,000 of an inch larger in its piston diameter. So
And you don't want to-
4-inch goes to a 4.030.
And if you go much beyond that, you start compromising the integrity of the inside of the cylinder walls. They'll blow themselves to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you can get these things up to 60 over. You know, a lot of people do. They'll get them up to 357s, you know, even larger 360 motors. You can get them up there. This one, however, we did measure stroke as well as the casting numbers, which gave us our baseline of either 302, 327, 350. This is a 350 engine. It was a 4-inch factory bore. It does have a 3.480-inch stroke to it, so this is nowhere near a 383 stroker.
It gives you
this
what?
is nothing more than a 350 bore 30 over. Great setup, flat top pistons, 4 relief valve for the valve intake and exhaust valve clearance on the cylinder head side, so it has a great setup in it, but it's only producing 355 cubic inches, not 383. It's not a high revenue, just ball busting stroker like a lot of clients really want in their cars. This is a very good build for a street car though, with what it's set up with a 4-speed, 373 gear, going to be really fun for the client at the end of the day.
However, Bub, it was not advertised
Not at
as
all,
a,
no.
it was documented and written down as a 383
Yeah.
professionally built motor. So I am going to talk, I'm going to
Well,
call.
we know it wasn't professionally built, by the way. It was built.
That's correct.
I can tell you that from the start. If you
The timing was completely
listen,
off.
if you can't figure out how to put your cam in and match it with your crank gear, you definitely don't know what you're building.
And we're going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment what that looks like. We left the motor open as we promised you we would. Yesterday we talked a little bit about camshaft science and technology here.
That's right.
And that this lobe was completely worn down, so there was no way this could have run properly, just to revisit that episode. One of the other things that we found, ladies and gentlemen, in this build, which was a clue as to how it was built, were these 2 valve cover gaskets. One of these valve cover gaskets is blue. One of these valve cover gaskets is orange, indicating 2 different styles of valve cover being used.
Yeah.
Why did that happen?
Somebody didn't care, dude. The fact of the matter is, what you're seeing here is a very quick sign of, if this was a brand new built motor with 31 miles on it, either you, A, didn't buy the parts right the first time and only had 1 gasket, probably not the chance because they come in pairs.
That's right.
Or B, you've already gone inside of that motor previously to try to address a problem. And that was one of my first indications that there was something wrong inside of this motor, because not only did we start by seeing just by removing the valve covers we talked about on our last episode, that I went through just my basic fundamentals, because there was exhaust pop up with the carburetor, A lot of the times that's either over-revving the motor, throwing off an exhaust valve. You can go through, pull your covers up, very quick sign to see if all your rockers are in place. 16 in total on this motor. It's an 8-cylinder, 2 per each. So you have that problem there, but then when you start looking at the fact that your gaskets aren't right, you know something else is going to be wrong inside that motor. If we look deeper, we saw with the push rods. Sometimes push rods actually rub a little bit on your head gaskets or on the cylinder head as they pass through where they travel, right? So you're holding it in your hand. So now this lower portion, where you can see it's been rubbing on something clearly, was on the bottom side. Well, if this was a brand new motor with 31 miles on it, there's no chance that you would have rubbed this much and had nothing rubbing on it, right? So you could already tell somebody had been in this motor, took the push rod out one way, they stuck it back in another way, and that gave me clear indication someone's already taken these out more than once.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, what we call a push rod. You can see right here, Bub, this is 8 inches long, 8 inches long. And what it does, a hydraulic lifter sits on the bottom. So when you're told you have a solid lift cam, you do not have a hydraulic lifter sitting underneath of it. That lifter is pumped up with oil, what keeps the motor sounding quiet. Previously, in the old days, you could hear ticking from the valve train. You had to adjust these often because the hydraulic lifter had not been invented at that time. You will see also there's a small hole on the inside of this push rod, here and here. This is what we call an oil journal, Bub. So as the motor is running, oil is pushed up through this push rod and onto the rocker, so there's no metal-to-metal contact.
That's right. Yep.
But we have here, I'm going to show everybody now, what do we have in my hand now, Bub?
So those are the lifters themselves. These are hydraulic flat tappets. Really wish I could speak for you guys right now. I hate doing this. So those are hydraulic flat tappets right now. If you flip those things over, you can actually see that is where the push rod side of this sits. The oil goes in and out of the top side of that and keeps it pumped up on the inside. So it does keep that quiet valve train while still fully functioning, opening the intake and exhaust valves accordingly.
And this, Bub, I'll take it here for a second, give Bub a chance to recover a second. This is the difference between a good lifter or hydraulic flat tappet, Bub. We call it flat because the tappet is flat out top here, okay? And we can see right here that this one has been destroyed
From being over-touched.
versus this one having no destructive measure on it at all. As Bub mentioned, the hydraulic or the push rod sits on top of these. These sit down inside the motor, and the push rod sits like this. On top here is the rocker that goes back and forth, that opens and closes, the exhaust and intake valves that allow fuel and air in and the exhaust out in the minute second it takes to create that explosion inside of the block. So, Bub, we have here as well, this is an example of...
Look at this badass.
Okay, CPE and Little Legends Racing from Street Outlaws will be on tomorrow, okay? It's going to be a big show. I've lined that up already and ready to go. Which bolts are you doing, Bub? I'll help you with this right here. The ones that are just sitting right here? Okay, I'll do these for you. I'll put the brochure for you.
Putting the finishing touches on this.
We are. Bub's got the block back together. The timing is set. Everything's at top dead center. We can see the quality of Bub's work here and the fuel lines that are being trimmed, the way everything's turned and indexed the proper way. The motor's coming back together. It's nice and clean. It is quality. It is typical of Bub's work, and it exemplifies how he builds. He doesn't typically like people touching his builds because it allows him to put the quality control into the final and the end product. So we can see that this is coming together. He'll do the initial test fire here shortly, and the client will be very happy to get this car back.
Thank you.